Sports on Tabs Hockey Night in Northeast Ohio is brought to you by Brunswick Automart. You can visit them online at www.brunswickautomart.com or go visit them at 3031 Center Road in Brunswick.
Raymond Felton State Farm is here to defend you from life's unexpected hits with coverage that fits your game plan. Get a free quote today at www.rayfelton.com or call 234-284-2996. Raymond Felton State Farm will help build the game plan that fits your needs.
Whether you're hosting a corporate event, wedding, conference, concert, or any other special gathering, our comprehensive range of services will exceed your expectations and elevate your event to new heights. RRT Productions. We shoot, we edit, you win. Visit our website at www.rrt-productions.com.
We've got the experience, the passion, and the beach to make your event a smash hit. Whether it's a romantic wedding, a lively sports venue, or a rocking high school dance, Troutland Entertainment has you covered. Contact them at 330-414-4261 or email them at troutlandent@gmail.com. That's troutlandent@gmail.com. Elevate your brand with Mako Custom Printing. Mako Custom Printing specializes in creating high-quality spiritware, corporate apparel, and promotional products that make your brand stand out. Whether you need custom printing, graphic design, or an online store for your school or business, we've got you covered. Make a statement with Mako Custom Printing. Visit us at mako.com to start your custom printing journey today. That's MEHCO.com.
Welcome everybody to Sports on Tap. This is the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League preview show presented by Raymond Felton. Well, that's our football coverage. We'll finish that up tomorrow. Presented by our new title sponsor for the hockey season, Brunswick Automart. You get to hear about them and a bunch of other sponsors as well. before, and listen a little bit after show for more information on them. My name is Ed Dick, alongside Rob Troutman, Josh Jeffy, Sean Duffy, and Noah Jacobson are both out on assignment. And this is a special edition of our show tonight. We're normally on Mondays, but we're going to be wrapping up the high school football season tomorrow at this time from 7:30 to approximately 8:30, 9 o'clock. But we'll get to that when we get to it. Tonight we're talking Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League. If you checked us out this past Wednesday, we broadcast Olmsted Falls versus Elyria Catholic, which was a decisive victory for Elyria Catholic, and so we're just about to get. We're going to talk to Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League president and executive director Ryan Kelber a little bit later. We'll talk with Hudson High School head coach Bob Rischitelli. But for now, we are joined by the Elyria coach, Elyria Catholic head coach. He is the reigning, defending, which is it's a team award, I'm sure he'll say. But he is the White Division Coach of the Year from last year. We're joined by Brandon Basinger from Elyria Catholic. Coach, how you doing tonight?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me, and thanks for covering high school hockey this season and the last couple years, right?
It's great. It's great for us to be able to promote the sport and promote the programs as well. So it's been a really good thing between both the organization and us over the last few years. And usually our coverage kicks off at Elyria Catholic, usually at the Elyria ice rink. So talk a little bit about your team coming up. You had all-world player Andrew Post for the last few years. But he had some help from some now prominent seniors in Charlie Grimes, JoJo Jansura, and Jaden Brown. Besides those three, who we know pretty well, who are some of the other players that are making some strides and who you're looking to count on this season?
Well, obviously, with Post graduating, left a lot of scoring. He's became Elyria Catholic's all-time leading goal scorer over his 4 years. But yeah, other than Charlie Grimes and Brown and Jenser, we have a pretty good core of sophomore players that have really, obviously their second year in, but they produced a lot last year for us. Last year we actually had Post with two freshmen on an offensive line. We had a Cleary and my son Brady Basinger on their line. Kind of let Post show them how to do things and get things going. So it worked out really well. And then we had Brown and Grimes and another freshman, Josh Anastasiadis, on our other line that I think one of the parents sent a message out midway through the year, and our goals were equal. We had 32 goals on both lines, so obviously we're getting a lot of production from both lines, and obviously that led to a lot of our success last year.
Hey, Coach, you did have a lot of success last year, and then, you're off to a great start this year. For high school hockey, it's in my opinion, one of the toughest sports to maintain a consistent, top program. With the numbers can fluctuate year in and year out. Just talk about some of the things that you've done with the Elyria Catholic program, maybe with some of the youth programs and with the Panther Club we were talking about before we went on here, how important those things are for you to maintain that visibility of your hockey program, and that, would induce, having that, the large amount of numbers that could keep a program going.
Yeah. I've been coaching. Actually, I have a sophomore son, Brady, and then I have a freshman son, Zachary. Basically, I coached them all the way through their youth career at Elyria. So a lot of that has kind of trickled into some of them, their parents choosing to come to Elyria Catholic. Obviously, I started here. This is my 5th year coaching at EC. And the program was pretty down when I started out. Obviously, having Post and a couple of other Grimes, Charlie Grimes' brother Lex, have really got the program going in the right direction now. Our main pool of players are coming from the Elyria youth program. And our youth program has been really good over the last 10 years. Our numbers are way up. I mean, we're averaging 3 teams per youth, at the Bantam, Pee Wee, and Squirt level, which is obviously helping out all the local high schools. I mean, Amherst has gotten a lot of support from it. Avon's getting players. Obviously, we're getting players. I mean, when I started out at EC 5 years ago, we had a game out against NDCL, and I was the only one on the bench. We had a goalie and 5 players show up to that game. And the only time you got to rest was if you got a penalty. So I think Post had 2 penalties that game. But yeah, we had 5 players and a goalie. So right now, our current roster for this year, we have 24 players, 22 skaters, and 2 goalies. So over the last 4 years, our program's really grown due to the success of the youth program in Elyria being really strong.
Yeah, and Coach, you've had a lot of success. Last year you went to Barron Cup and you had success there, and it seems like each year you continually grow as a program. Has that success resulted in more players interested in the sport of high school hockey? Because I feel like the sport of high school hockey has grown since I know we've covered it. You see different teams obviously getting, some teams only have 1 line, some with 2 or 3. But it seems like with your program at Elyria Catholic, we have seen the numbers grow. Is that because of the success of the program?
Yeah. Obviously for the longest time, Elyria Catholic was in the Blue South. Like I said, they were struggling to find players. I think they were walking the hallways, asking people if they ever been open skate. And if they had, let's put some skates on and put some pads on and go out and play hockey. Right now, we're getting enough kids that have, plenty of experience playing in the youth program. We still do have 2 seniors this year, 3 seniors this year that they just started playing hockey. Their freshman and sophomore years, Kellen Burns and Garrett Scott. They put their skates on freshman year, and, they have actually became into very nice hockey players for us, and starting to see some time in some varsity games this year. We actually have rolled out a JV program this year. Nice. With the amount of numbers that we've had.
We're talking with the Elyria Catholic head coach Brandon Basinger. Coach, with we mentioned Grimes, Brown, and Jinsura earlier. How important is it for them, for you you and your coaching staff, to have them out on the ice? Are they almost like an extension of the coaching staff when they're out there on the shift?
Yeah, well, Brown and Grimes both earned captains this year, along with our junior defenseman Preston Hemlinger. So yeah, the senior leadership has been, it's like having another coach on the ice when those guys are out there. So makes it a little bit easier on me. And, they did a great job this off season, coming to off season workouts and lifting, and they're great seniors and great captains. So.
Hey, Coach, we'll get you out on this one because we know you got some things going on here. But just you guys are off to a hot start. Just looking, at this season as it comes to play. What are some of the things you're looking for your team to maybe grow with, and build on as this season goes on to, till we get to the league tournament, Barron Cup that we cover, and then hopefully a good run in states.
Yeah, it's already crazy. We're already 9 games in. We're 8-1 right now. We're 4-0 in the league. We just played Strongsville this afternoon, and I got a win over there at BAM. And it's crazy to think. Our schedule does get a lot harder here in the next couple of weeks, particularly on this coming Friday. We got Avon Lake at Rocky River. It's looking like us and Avon Lake are going to be the top 2 teams in the white division this year. So I'm looking forward to that game. we do have some red division opponents coming up on our schedule. We got Hudson coming in, and we're doing a home and away against Hudson. And yeah, I mean, our schedule is going to get a little tougher. We're heading down to Columbus MLK weekend, and we're playing the Odentangy Orange tournament, which they always have good competition down there. So yeah, just looking forward to playing more games and getting better every day.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned it. I mean, yeah, a hot start, a league win today, 8-1 overall, 4-0 in the league. So I mean, the white division is looking pretty good so far for you, and we'll keep an eye on what Elyria Catholic's got going on, and we'll see you in the Bear Cup 2 championships, the tournament here coming up in February. So thanks for taking the time to join us tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and thanks for covering high school hockey.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
That is Elyria Catholic high school hockey coach Brandon Basinger. He's gonna be roughing here in about 18 minutes. So he's get out there and get some warm ups going and get himself ready to roll. And roughing the USA Hockey a matchup between, I believe he said, between Elyria and Medina, those club teams there out in Elyria. He's also returning a third team all-white division goalie in Dominic Morris, this is his junior year, and as of right now, goals against average of less than 2. They've scored 51, they've only given up 19. They're on quite a winning streak, 7 in a row, and you couldn't ask for a better start if you're a program like Elyria Catholic.
Yeah, when we were at that game on Wednesday, and you could rewatch that game on our YouTube channel. Pretty much the defense for the Panthers was just suffocating for Olmsted Falls. Olmsted Falls could not get much going, and then, like you said, the skaters that they have were just overpowering Olmsted Falls. Got off to a quick lead early, and never looked back. So Elyria Catholic is primed to make another strong run for sure.
Yeah, I think we had the chance to, like you said, to see how quick they skate. They were just very quick, crisp passes. A lot of plus minuses, I'm guessing, with Charlie Grimes. He was all over the place creating. If he wasn't having quality shots on goal, he was making that extra pass for a wide open goal and getting that goalie out of position. And I just thought they had a lot of odd man rushes in that game versus Olmsted Falls. Olmsted Falls had some opportunities in the game, but a great job by Morris, the goaltender for Elyria Catholic. He really had a great game. Let a few goals slide in late, but overall, Elyria Catholic shows you their speed, and I think they're, like you said, they're primed for a really good season this year.
Yeah, we want to thank Tim Nichols from CVCA Livestream for filling in from us too, for doing play-by-play. I'll probably address that here in a little bit as to why I'm not there. But the guys obviously do, Rob, Josh, the rest of the group, fantastic work as always. And as we talked about, it's always the first few games are a little bit of feeling out for us too, making sure the technology is good, the AV is good. And working through those issues. So hopefully that doesn't come across on the air when we're broadcasting the games. But Tim Nichols is a wealth of information when it comes to local high school hockey, and we're lucky that to have a good partnership with him and CVCA Livestream and being able to come on and help us out when we need it. So big thanks to Tim for helping us out there. As we get a little bit later, we'll be joined here by Ryan Kelber, Executive Director of the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League, here shortly, and we'll go through he'll go through this more in detail. But there's always a little bit of movement between the divisions. It's kind of similar to what you see in England for their teams get relegated,
there we go,
up and all that stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, Ed, you kind of broke up on us a little bit there. So sorry about that.
Right. My bad. So I'm not sure I left off at. So whatever, Coach. Kelber comes on, we'll address some of the changes in divisions that happen from year to year, and we'll see. He'll go through that, and then again we have Bob Rischitelli from Hudson joining us later as well. They are another really good program out in Hudson. They have some pretty tough competition there in the Red Division, and they put up a pretty good fight in Barron Cup. The Barron Cup 1 championship last year, Menor against Menor, and a lot of mutual respect between those two programs here. So it looks like we are just about to be joined by Ryan Kelber, again, Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League Executive Director. Programming note: later this week on Thursday, we will be at Brooklyn for a matchup between North Olmsted and Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Recreation Center. Puck drops, I believe, at 7:15.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Yep.
There we go. El Capitan, El Presidente.
Gentlemen, good to see you.
Good to see you too, buddy.
Always good to see you, sir. How you doing tonight?
Okay, it's a Sunday night after a tough Browns game.
Isn't that usually most Sundays, it seems like anymore?
I was downtown today, but not for the game, for the Kris Kringle experience, and I had my Browns gear on, and the amount of comments I got saying, "You're still wearing this stuff?" And I'm like, come on, it's Sundays. That's what I do. We wear Brown stuff, no matter what.
Well, was it from Kris Kringle that was asking you that question?
Yeah. And what I had Mason ask him for Christmas, he goes, "I can't give the Browns a win." Come on.
Oh, come on, man.
It was close, right? It was a good game.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I went to church today wearing Browns gear, and one of the guys at church said, "I don't think there's enough prayers to get a win today."
Oh, jeez. Oh, man.
We weren't playing the Patriots. We were playing a one-win team. Jeez.
Yeah, really.
Obviously, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
well, let's start talking about some better stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say something positive.
Let's go positive here. Yes.
High school hockey. Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan, we're just getting ramped up into the high school hockey season here. We did a white game, a white division game recently with Olmsted Falls and Elyria Catholic. We'll have a blue division game coming up this week. As what normally happens, there's a little bit of movement that goes on between season to season. Why don't you break down some of the movements that happened between this season and last season?
Well, I'm glad you guys brought it up, because the game you have Thursday is, I think you said, Brooklyn and North Olmsted, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And those are two programs that have been around a long time and have a great history of high school hockey that are just barely hanging on. But kudos to both those school districts and those coaches at both those schools for just keeping it alive there, because it's really tough once you lose a team to come back and regain your team. But I know both, especially I know Brooklyn. Coach Mike Ross is, works the hallways, and his assistant Josh Stress. They do anything they can to make sure that Brooklyn still has a team, and that it's a proud tradition over there. And I'm happy that they still have a team. And even North Olmsted, they were very close to folding last year, and here they are. It might be a struggle this year, but they got kids that might not be doing anything else, and now they're out there, skating and playing games. So kudos to both those districts. And that's why I think this league is so special, is because we create these divisions to have equity and to help keep teams around. So yeah, some of the bigger schools, St. Ed's and St. Ignatius and Padua and Shaker, great programs, and they have their own leagues. But this league that we have here for sure helps keep teams around, and yet we still have our powerhouses too, as we know, in the red there, that can compete with almost anybody. So we had some movement, in the blue. We have 17 teams. Unfortunately, we did have one school that had to fold, Twinsburg. But we have 8 in the Blue South, and that Blue South is mainly a beginner hockey league. But we keep them playing, and again, just trying to keep kids active and playing the game of hockey. So those 8 teams are mainly consisting of beginner skaters. And kudos again to all those coaching staffs and those districts who help keep those programs alive. Because you got Lakewood, North Olmsted, Nordonia, NDCL, Cleveland Heights, Brooklyn, and Bay. There's some good hockey programs there that had some great runs in the 90s and even 2000s and 80s. So glad that they're still playing there. And then we have their Blue North, which is a little bit past the beginner stage, but and numbers are a little bit better, but they're still struggling sometimes to find a goalie, or they may have one line of experienced players and the rest are 1, 2, 3-year players, and that's Chagrin Falls, CVCA, Normandy, Orange, Westlake, Aurora, Canfield, Mayfield, and Solon. So 17 in the blue. Again, the blue is there to help keep teams around, especially the South, but the Blue North is a little bit more experienced and should be a good battle. We've had some good Barron Cups in the North here with a nice run last year by Nordonia out of nowhere. And, Westlake had a great season last year. And then you have the Barron Cup champs, Orange. Normandy always, Coach Jackson's in over 30 years coaching. He's a legend, and he always makes sure that program is competitive. And we had a coaching change at CVCA. So we got some changes, but it should be a pretty competitive Blue Barron Cup, I know.
Yeah, Ryan. Then we move up to the white division, and that's just from my perspective, that's a very the Reds obviously very competitive, but the white, that is an ultra competitive. You have teams that can come out of nowhere in that division. You have teams that are just solid, like we have Elyria Catholic, who's looking like they're going to be one of the top teams. They're running roughshod right now. I think Coach said 8-1, 4-0 in the league play already. So. Just talk a little bit more about that white division, and that's really, in my opinion, the core of what is like what it means to be Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League.
Yeah, I mean, last year I think we had 10 teams in the white. This year we have 8, but last year I think everybody beat everybody at least one time. It was pretty crazy, and even Strongsville, I think, who went winless in the regular season, but was losing every game by 1 goal or 2 goals. So they were competitive with everybody there. So our white has been I think our most competitive amongst, like, between 1 through 8. I could say that. Elyria Catholic has had a good little run here of numbers. I know Avon Lake is a pretty competitive team. And then you have good numbers, with Kent Roosevelt and Olmsted Falls, and Strongsville's building their way back up. And then Stowe, Kenston, and Avon. Avon has that championship breed from the fall season here. So they're going to be competitive. And then, Kent Roosevelt had a great regular season last year. Had some good numbers. They have a great coach out there. And, 1 through 8, they're all going to be competitive. So that's another good division there. And what the white does is white has a little bit more experience, obviously, than the blue, but they don't have the depth maybe to handle the red. But like I said, last year, all 10 teams, I think that was one of our most competitive conferences was in the white.
Yeah, and I think, going back to the blue a little bit, obviously we're going to be covering them on Thursday. I think it's fun to do those kind of games. Yeah, it might not be as fast, but I think it's a good showcase for people that might be a little bit scared to get into high school hockey that, hey, you can do it starting right now. They are not afraid to train these kids to skate and to learn the game a little bit. You went through the white really well. The red, obviously, I think some of the white teams are looking to try to make maybe that stride towards the red, and you're seeing some programs gain some players. What do you see in the red here? Obviously, you have the Amherst, Benedictine, Hudson, Mentor, and Rocky River, and those are some pretty strong programs that I think have been pretty consistent in the red.
Yeah, I think, Rob, what you said there, the key word is consistency. They are consistently good, those teams, and they have the numbers, they have the skill where they can roll out 2 to 3 lines at least. They usually have experience when it comes to, like, goaltending and defense. And then you have pretty much, some veteran coaches that have been around the game for a while that do a great job, maintaining their program, and not just probably 9 through 12, but they probably have active roles in their young and in their youth programs and their developmental programs also. So obviously, some of the schools are bigger, but we have, Benedictine was just coming off back-to-back Barron Cup championships before last year. And, Mentor has had great runs. And then Rocky River has been predominantly, one of the better programs in our area here in Northeast Ohio for a long time. So Amherst always, Coach Morris is always going to have that team ready and playing. And whenever they can have, more numbers or additional numbers, they're going to be a dangerous team for sure. And then Hudson always has skill out there. So, and Hudson has to compete out with Walsh Jesuit and out in that area. But again, they're still one of our top teams. And the red's the red. So when it comes down to it, anybody could beat anybody, I think.
And we're talking with Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League President Ryan Kelber. That's a tremendous breakdown of what the league's about and how teams can shift up and shift down. As you mentioned, you mentioned a team earlier in the I believe in the blue, and it's a team that's not really close. A team like Canfield. There's not a whole lot of hockey out by the Youngstown area, so the fact that this group, this league, is able to broaden out and get a team like them to join and be competitive. I mean, they were just in a Barron Cup championship here a few years back. So speak a little bit to the diversity of how you're able to get teams that it's Greater Cleveland, but it also expands out a little bit further than that.
Yeah, Canfield is one of those outliers, and I know it's a pretty good trip for some of those games, and we try to make sure that those games are on Saturdays and Sundays for that. But Canfield and then even Stowe, Stowe, this is only probably year, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 for them being in the league, and they're a pretty new team. But I know Kent plays out at the Kent State Arena out there, so that could be a hike for some of an Avon Lake going out to Kent. It's a pretty good hike. Sometimes I think Kent's home games are on Thursday nights, so it could be a challenge. But we like to expand and throughout Northeast Ohio, because when it comes down to the OHSA playoffs, we're usually split up into these 2 districts here, the one that's played out by Kent or the one that's played in Brooklyn. So, but it's Northeast Ohio. It's hockey. I know Columbus is growing. Good for them with the Blue Jackets being strong in that area, and then Cincinnati is so. But it's mainly Northeast Ohio has always been known to be a hockey factory for high school hockey.
Hey, Ryan, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Barron Cup. This year it's going to, like every year, it's going to be early February. But it seemed last year, a lot of momentum, a lot of attendance. Just from our broadcast that we had there, our numbers were pretty large compared to the previous year. So just talk about that tournament, that league tournament you guys had at the end of the year. You guys it's hosted at Brooklyn, and it just seems to be, for most of these teams we talk about every year, this is their state tournament, this championship. Just talk about the importance of that Barron Cup and what it means to your league.
Yeah, Josh, you hit it right on the nose there. It is almost like a state championship for majority of our teams. Our red teams can make a run in the OHSA playoffs. They definitely can make some noise and do. We saw Mentor, what they did, so they can definitely do it. But in the white and in the blue, unfortunately, it's a tough matchup for those schools when it comes to OHSA players, because there's only one division for hockey. So they may have a competitive game, 1 or 2, and then they're going to run into a powerhouse that just they can't match up number wise with. So the Barron Cup is the state championship, because we feel like the way we have it set up, anybody has a chance to win it. And we have it separated by, it's not by school enrollment, it's not by geographical or anything. It's by who we feel is most competitive against each other. So that gives every team a chance. And that Barron Cup trophy is pretty special. Between the 3 of them, the white, blue, and the red, you get to keep that for a year. It's got some history to it. And it's something worth celebrating. Again, like some of these teams after that Barron Cup, it's a tough draw for them to go any further in the state playoffs. So it's a week of great hockey. People want to get out, watch the game, and we love that you guys are able to cover those games, and it gives people maybe an opportunity to watch them if they're not able to travel to Brooklyn, because there's still basketball going on, there's still wrestling going on, there's still swimming, bowling, everything else is still going on. But you guys give our fans an opportunity, and we appreciate. That's why we love our partnership with you guys. But that's a big hockey week. That's my Super Bowl week, and I love being a part of it, and I love having you guys a part of it.
Well, we appreciate that, and I know there's a lot of history with the Barron Cup. With the white teams, you do see some matchups with those white teams trying to take a chance and playing against some of the red teams and probably seeing how they match up. Do you feel like those white teams, if they compete in the red, that might in their heads, and if they have the more players, will take a chance and maybe go to the red division, or is that just kind of a let's see how we match up kind of thing?
Yeah, no, I think it's a little bit of both there. I think they want to see how they can match up because they're going to catch these teams in the OHSA playoffs. And I think some of them could maybe be competitive, to an extent in the red. It comes down to depth. So maybe, one game's a lot different than playing 8 games up in the red. But Avon, Elyria Catholic, or Avon Lake and Elyria Catholic are playing some red teams and probably right there with them, if not have beaten them.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a time, like, as much as we want to say we're going to keep 3 divisions, there might be a time where we only have 2 divisions here. And, you're going to have your blue and maybe just your red, and it's going to be a combination. But I think some of those white teams can hang with the red.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of, it comes down to depth. So maybe for a period, maybe 2 periods, those 3 periods might get a little tough there, and it all comes down to numbers. But yeah, it would be interesting to see how our white teams could compete, especially in the Barron Cup with some of the red teams.
And the defending white division champion, Barron Cup 2 champion, is Kenston. Now they lost their all-time leading scorer to graduation, Gavin Rowell, and
just a couple goals he scored.
Yeah. In that Barron Cup 2 championship game last year against Avon Lake, it seemed like every shot he took found the back of the net, and they weren't exactly right in front of the net shots. I mean, he's lacing them from all over the ice, and losing that type of production. You figure that you might have a little bit of a drop off, but Kenston has also established themselves as being able to have a good program, and bringing in those those athletes. So Ords, Kenston, and Menor are your defending Barron Cup 3, 2, and 1 champions respectively, and we're just about to talk to a Barron Cup 1 championship participant in Coach Rischitelli here in a minute. But Ryan, we want to thank you. Thanks for everything you do to help us out. We certainly appreciate being the media partner of the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League, and everything you do with that. And here's to a great season, and we'll talk to you again come Barron Cup.
Yeah, I can't thank you guys enough. Like what you do for the sport of hockey and for all of our high school athletes. Your coverage. As much as I love you guys for hockey, I know you guys expand in the fall, and you were at a couple of football games where I saw a couple of you guys. So I appreciate everything you do. Like I said, on behalf of all the student athletes, like we love your coverage and I appreciate everything. And let's maybe try to talk here before February. We can kind of maybe do a preview of the Barron Cup, and then I could fill you in some interesting news on our All-Star game too.
Oh, that's called a tease, my friend.
It's a multi-month tease right there. I like it.
Yes.
Let that bake for a little bit.
But thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ryan.
Good luck Thursday on the coverage. And again, kudos to those teams for sticking around. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great holiday.
Thanks,
You too, Ryan. Thanks.
Well, that's Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League President Ryan Kelber joining us on the preview show tonight. Always good to talk to him. Get an idea of where things are at in the league. I want to call it a state of the league type of address, but the explanations. You see these divisions, and you being able to understand how they're put together is just as important when you're talking about the level of competition and what you're looking at. When if you're reading a box score and you don't know any better, that additional context is so important to understand why certain teams are in their spots. A team like CVCA, for example, who's been in the white division probably as long as we can remember, down in the blue division now, and that's not a detriment. That's just it marks where they are at with their competition, and for them to be successful, it works out better for them to be in the blue division. And there's nothing wrong with that. But as let's shift over to the red division. The Barron Cup 1 finalist from last year. He's got a couple of returning All Red League members as well. We're joined by Coach Bob Rischitelli from Hudson. Coach, how you doing tonight?
Good, guys. How are you?
We're great.
Good.
We're great. Thanks for taking time to join us. As we you bring back another good core. I mean, it seems like every year you graduate some really good players, but you have really good underclassmen that are usually in the all league discussion. Talk about some of the players that have made a difference for you so far in this this young into the season.
So we only have 4 seniors. The goaltender Ben Pinkerton, who started playing goal only last year, and Marshall Murdo, Tommy Eisman, and JP Fliss, who's our captain. And then our junior class is not only large in number, it's the kind of the core of the team in many ways. Max Corbel, our leading scorer, is the first line center with Nolan Carter on the right, and then sophomore Brody Carter on the left. That's really where we get probably 80% of our scoring from. And then our second, our defense is led by a junior, Jake Zidek, who's probably on the ice half the time. So it's that junior class that's really huge, some leadership from the senior. We only have 2 freshmen, and we see some thin numbers coming throughout kind of the community of hockey over the next couple of years because of COVID.
Wow, that's very interesting because of COVID. That's so in a situation like yourself, you got a really solid program now, and you have that big junior class. So, you're looking at these next couple seasons for you is very important. How are you going to utilize these next this season and next season to help grow the program if possible?
So you guys know about the state law change, right?
Maybe.
So there's an exception for ice hockey only that allows ice hockey players whose high school doesn't have a team to play for a high school that has a team within 20 miles.
Oh, wow.
Not 20 miles by interstate or county road, but by direct line. So we have a player on our team from North Royalton, which, if you know geography of Northeast Ohio, we would never think 20 miles is North Royalton to Hudson, but it is on a direct line. So we have a player, sophomore Avery Fry. So I anticipate we'll have some of that. You're always fearful that some teams are below 10 in play, and I don't know how well you guys know the game, but you can't play hockey with 10 players.
Yeah.
The game's too fast, and forwards are out 45 seconds. Defense is out a minute 5, and you got to rotate it if the speed of the game. You just aerobically can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the game's so far different when we only play 2 lines versus 3, which has always been a challenge for us in many schools, the depth, right? Paul Bakito with Menor last year, he's skating 3 lines and a veteran goalie. Like, they were really good. He's a great coach. They get to the Final Four.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. I know Coach Makito said they had a great turnout last year. And you do see some, like Amherst is a team that, we've seen that doesn't have necessarily a ton of skaters, but, they consistently are pretty solid. I think they had 2 lines last year, if I remember right. But I think you're right. Sometimes it's hit or miss on those lines. Now, what in your mind, I know, there's a lot of youth hockey leagues, and if you can go with the 20-mile distance around if they don't have a hockey program, what do you do as a coach maybe to try to get some more hockey players and to see if there's interest in other areas other than Hudson?
It's always hard. We pay a lot in property taxes in Hudson. I think we're second to Shaker Heights and Cleveland Heights. And so people who send their kids to Hudson schools who seek an education, including sports, don't want to see a kid who doesn't live here come and take ice time. So that was the first thing we discussed with the senior at the opening picnic was, look, I live here, I grew up here, I practice law here. I'm mindful of everyone in this community. Your kids went to Hudson City schools for however many years, and now we've got kids from other places coming, taking your minutes. I wouldn't want my children who are out of school now to not be able to get into AP chemistry because we have a kid from some other town, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we have to be mindful of that. So the AD's been great. The superintendent has been great. Can we fill this roster and time it out? Because actually sixth grade, fifth grade, and below, some of those classes have like 22 players a grade. So we don't want to see this thing die. To revive it would be really difficult.
Yeah.
So we're trying to balance to figure out how to do it. We have 18 players, 19 players total, 18 skaters. I got only 1 goalie.
Okay.
And as you mentioned, and Pinkerton, as you mentioned, he just started playing goalie last year.
Yep.
So if you find yourself in a situation where he's not available, I imagine you have an emergency goalie lined up somewhere, or is it someone who wants to? Is it who's raising their hand and being the guy?
Hopefully a conversation we never have to have. Someone may not raise their hand, and someone may go lift someone else's hand and say, it's your time. Because we have an extra set of goalie gear, because this happened to us previously. We had one goalie last year. Historically, we've had two goalies. But again, I think COVID really kind of wiped out the ice rink. Kent State was open, but people didn't come back. Hockey typically doesn't lose a lot of people. It's quite like once you're in it, for better or for worse, getting up at 6:30 is not great, but not a lot of people leave because unlike most sports, you're actually in the play when you're on the ice, whether you like it or not, the puck finds you. Yeah. Right? Baseball, right field is like there's no play going to you.
That's very true. So, Coach, how do you coming into this year, how are you building off the success you had last year with that run to the Barron Cup finals? Who are some of the players who are looking to have a big year this year as we move on to the 2026 Barron Cup eventually down the road?
So we've worked really hard in the off season. The high school has a weight room, but I have a baseball business that I operate with a player I represented when he played professionally. We have a baseball facility with a workout, with a weight room, with shooting ability. So we spend all summer. They have access. The players have access to it whenever they want. And they've worked really hard, especially some of the junior class guys have been in there all the time. So it's been great to see them work. You know how valuable it is to put the time in. Repetition, competition, and instruction are the three ways you get better in sports, and they have done that. They've done it with pre-post. And so Jake Zidek, really in that junior class, Corbels, the Carters, Marshall Murdo, Max Grody. We've had a strong Willie Gia, Fliss, JP and Luke. They've really worked hard, and it's noticed. It's evident. You guys probably played sports in high school, and if you spend time in the weight room, you see what the football guys look like each year, and they spend 10+ months working out. They look like it. My guys they've worked hard. I don't think we only have one player who plays soccer, Marshall Murdo, and some lacrosse players, but we primarily have guys who only play hockey, which, unlike years past, our best athlete probably ever was Ian Ludwig, who was football superstar, hockey, and he's at Utah playing lacrosse. He was a dog. He was a dog in the locker room. He was a captain. He was a handful, but he was all that. I would take him every year.
That's funny that you mentioned the weight room in the off season because when we're talking to a lot of these high school football players and the coaches before their season started, that seemed to be the theme with them. That main focus was that off season workout, getting in that weight room, getting stronger. And now to hear that, I'm sure other hockey programs too have done the same thing. But that's kind of a common theme here. And you mentioned how important that is because that training lends to being ready to go during the season, fighting through those tough games, maybe through some injuries, and that leaves you tougher at the end.
Well, you win more pucks, you shoot the puck harder, you skate faster, you get more opportunities, and with it comes, having the puck's better than chasing the puck. So having the puck means you got a chance to score. Chasing it means preventing it. And that weight room work, that stick work, those kind of things. We do watch a lot of video. The facility has a conference room where we can watch that because USA Hockey's great. They don't do a lot of strategy. So I think Paul and Chris, Steve, and Bob would all tell you, those are the Red Division coaches, they would all tell you, we get players coming in, they don't really have any strategy knowledge. They wouldn't know where to go on a breakout if you're a right wing or a left wing and what the weak side means, what D-zone switches are. They don't know any of that thing. They just don't. USA Hockey focuses on skills, which is great. When you get to high school, we can't spend a lot of time on skills. Different forechecks, like Chris at Rocky River, they run, their power play is really good. They're the best team in the Red Division. So they're going to be a handful. I think they got like 12 seniors.
Oh, wow.
And a goalie. Their goalie's a senior. He played on the football team. That Rocky River football team, I think, went deep in the playoffs.
They did, yeah.
Yep.
That's primarily how we beat them. They were missing 3 guys. Yeah, they're going to be the top team in our division.
We're talking with Hudson head coach Bob Rischitelli. Now, you had the Adam Hamilton this past weekend. Talk about that tournament, and you guys had some good success there in the last few days.
We lost game one to Roosevelt, which was not something we necessarily. We had 44 shots and we had 4 goals. Their goalie was great, and their kids competed super hard. It's not a rival, but we share a rink, and so the kids were kind of a little hacked off about it. So then we, obviously, if you saw the scores, 10-0, 8-1, and today was 8-3, I think. But that was Padua's JV. So we get Padua's varsity on Thursday, and some of those older brothers play on the varsity. So they let some of our players know who were chirping them that my brother will see you Thursday night in Shaker. So, so I said, gentlemen, go easy on chirping those guys because you're going to see the older brothers on Thursday. So, yes, it was a great tournament win for us. It was great for the kids.
Yeah, it seems like those tournaments really help a team bond and come together and really help in long term for development of these players. How tough is it? Is it tough for you to pick leaders on the team, and or is it pretty easy for you to tell who the leaders on your team are this season?
So what we have them do, last year I made them read a Marc Messier book and then present to the team what their leadership is going to look like. The book didn't go well because not everyone read it, so we took the book out, and so they still have to present to their teammates what it is that they view as important, how they view adversity, how they view, guys who aren't going to play a lot's role in the team, and then they vote, and then we divide it out. We have there's only one C. I've never been a fan of teams with 3 captains with Cs. There's one C, and then we have 3 As. One guy wears the A all the time. That's Max Corbel. Nolan Carter wears the A at home. Jake Sidek wears the A on the road. That's typically what NHL teams will do. And if you notice a captain goes down in an NHL season or for a duration, they don't put a C on anyone. It's just 3 A's. So we let the guys do it. And it's reflective in some ways of kind of what the summer is and how they treat each other. That's super important, right? Mm-hmm. How they treat each other in the locker room. Historically, the freshmen did all the tasks, the pucks, the water bottles. We don't do that. We divide it out, and the senior and the captains know, we're coming to them if something doesn't get done. We're not going to a freshman to say, why do we have pucks for today, right? The seniors and the juniors know this is a responsibility of theirs. Mm-hmm. I mean, Brian Corbel, Brady Ludwig, Brendan Lewis are all coaches. None of those guys are afraid to pick up towels, pick up trash in the locker room. I mean, if you see Shohei Ohtani, he's picking up trash in the dugout after a World Series game that went 18 innings. If he can do that, my kids can pick up after themselves or fill water bottles.
Absolutely.
Hey, Coach, we'll get you out of here. Soon. At the end of the year, on the 30th, you have a game against Benedictine.
Yes.
League game, and then after that you have your alumni game.
Yes.
Talk about the alumni game and how long that's been going on, and how fun is it for you to see some of your former players coming out and get back on the ice?
It's awesome. I'm responsible in some ways for 5 of them. 2 of them are my sons, and 3 of them are my nephews. So,
it's a family affair.
Kind of it really is. But we always do a Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. The kids come back, the alumni come back and skate, and then the 29th, this is the 30th is the alumni, but the 29th is we have a practice. So we go a half hour. We have an hour and a half ice, and then we go the next hour. The alumni get on the ice with us. They play against each other for a minute, and then we switch lines. And so it's great. It really does help the continuity of it. And the kids get to connect. They get to see some of their former teammates come back. And the hope is we can build a rink in Hudson. I've been working with a lot of that. But, the cost of a rink's $8 to $12 million, and when you get $250 an hour to rent a sheet of ice, and you got to run a Zamboni and all the utilities, or you can open a field house and get $250 an hour for an indoor soccer game on turf where you don't have any costs. Building a rink isn't really a practical business decision. It's got to be kind of a passion. So it would be great for us to have that. I think youth hockey. Carter Camper, do you guys know that name?
Sounds familiar.
So Carter's a Rocky River guy. He went off and played college hockey at Miami. Then he played 12 years of professional hockey, played in the NHL. He's moved to Hudson. And he was like last year was his last year in Sweden. So he's helping us. He's got 4 sons, and he's been a huge help, and will be, to kind of help. If we get 20 plus kids a grade to play hockey in Hudson, we'll have a rink at some point.
Well, good luck
Absolutely.
with that. That's good to hear.
Appreciate it. And appreciate all your support. You guys cover, we really see you guys where? The Barron Cup, Menor, and sometimes in Amherst.
Generally
Yeah.
speaking.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we usually get a Hudson game, try to get a Hudson game at least in the regular season. I mean, the Red Division, obviously, fantastic competition, as you outlined earlier. Really good hockey with a lot of experience and the depth, for that matter. But this week specifically, while your team is going to be battling the Parma or the Padua older brothers, we'll be doing a Blue Division game, and then. We'll be back. We'll definitely be out there for Barron Cup and getting back out there before leading up to that point. So
Anything I can ever help with, you guys let me know. Glad to promote and appreciate all you guys do. Glad to promote hockey in the area. It's a great game. If you have kids that can play of age, I'd get them in it. I'd get a second mortgage if you have to. But yeah, it's a great game.
It's a fun sport, and honestly, Blue Jackets hockey, I feel like, has grown quite a bit in, with the Cleveland Monsters, in the area, and high school hockey in this area. I mean, this Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League has a lot of teams, and I like how there's division, so it's very competitive. I think we might be at Elyria North Park where you guys play Amherst, I believe, later in the season, I think.
We do on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, that might be a game I thought we had on the schedule, but I'll have to take a look back at that.
You let me know how I can help, and appreciate you guys supporting youth hockey. The kids always appreciate your involvement and social media, all the stuff that goes on. It's a big deal.
Well, we appreciate that.
thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
luck.
Coach. Have a great season.
You too. Take care. Good night.
Thank you.
Yep.
That is head coach of the Hudson Explorers, Bob Rischitelli. Talking, a lot of fantastic stuff to talk about there. No
doubt.
Commentary on, he kind of covered a lot of topics there. But as he mentioned, his team is really strong on the junior lines. They have, a lot of them were all league as sophomores last year, and they gave Menor a run for their money, and then in the Barron Cup championship, and with Menor making it to the Final Four. I mean, we know how good Menor was, but Coach Rischitelli has a great program in Hudson, and something tells with the involvement of the former NHL player, that's just having someone like that move into your city is a huge boost to that sport in that specific city.
No doubt.
That's a major impact, especially a sport like hockey where it's ice time isn't exactly easy to find. It's not like you can roll a soccer ball or football or even a baseball out on a field and just go. Hockey, you need to have you have to rent out ice. You have to have the ice has to be safe to skate on. There's a lot more to it than what you see on the TV, for sure.
Yeah, and it was interesting to hear, when we're talking like our prototypical sports that, that people know about, that's football, basketball, baseball, the numbers are there. Those teams don't ever really have to worry about numbers per se, but, Coach, he's looking at his two teams his teams like a few years down the road here that could be a little light. They're going to be struggling. And that's a unique challenge that teams that we cover here in the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League have to deal with every year. That's something, not everyone could be like, have the numbers like a Menor or a Rocky River. For a lot of teams that just struggle to get kids out there, hockey, as we all know, is a very expensive sport to get into. So it's difficult, and that's a unique challenge that a lot of those coaches and programs have to deal with on a yearly basis. And it's just interesting to hear how they do that.
Yeah, you could tell with some of these coaches too. I mean, they are in it obviously not for the money, because a lot of these high school coaches, they have other jobs too that they're doing, and then on top of it, they're coaching these kids, so they're gone all day long. And you know, how many of these coaches have been with these programs a long time? I mean, you see it in this league. And this league continues to develop, and you know, our partnership, I feel like, is definitely fun with the league. Great people in the league we work with. We work with, obviously, as many of the ice hockey rinks as we can. There's some that obviously we can't go shoot video and do a broadcast at, and then, you know, a majority.
No names, please.
Yeah,
no names,
exactly.
please.
And a majority we can. So that's where we go, where we can. And you know, obviously, if there's coaches in the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League, it does help if you send us rosters and pronunciations for these games. The more prep, obviously, the better it'll sound on the air. But we have a lot of fun doing it, and we obviously love it and enjoy doing it for not only promoting the sport, but the high school student athletes and coaches, and so that parents can enjoy it as well.
Yeah, I couldn't say anything better myself, guys. So it's a really, really cool thing to be a part of, and we're lucky, and we are gracious for the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League and the coaches that provide us the information, so we can do the best that we can to bring out the best product that we can. That's the least that we can do for having the privilege of live broadcasting these games. Which, again, this Thursday night at 7:15, North Olmsted will take on Brooklyn. That will be live from the Brooklyn Recreation Center. For those of you who can't get to that game live and in person, check it out on our live stream at Sports on Tap. Follow YouTube channel, like and subscribe, get those notifications. We will be providing updates also on X, our Twitter handle at SOT Podcast. So make sure you're following that as well. At the same time, you'll probably also be getting some notifications from Dr. Hoops. He'll be out and about that day on Thursday as well, covering high school basketball. So Dr. Hoops will be Noah Jacobson. He's gonna be all over the place throughout the week and on the weekends, covering high school basketball for Sports on Tap. So you'll get those updates as well. Follow us on Facebook at Sports on Tap. Make sure you follow us. We are also on Spotify at Sports on Tap, on Threads at SOT_podcasts. Our website is sportsontappodcast.com. And for any, as Rob mentioned, for suggestions, pronunciations, statistics, any other information you want to get out about your school when we are doing a game, please send that to us at sportsontappodcast@gmail.com. The more information that we get, the more information we can talk about your specific teams and your players and your programs. So this Thursday night, we will be there. Tomorrow night, we will be back here to wrap up the high school football season. Josh was at the state championship game on Thursday night between Avon and Cincinnati Anderson. So we'll recap that game, and we'll briefly recap the rest of the season. We'll have Max Riley from Avon Lake on right off the rip. We're looking to get him on. We'll have him on pretty quick, and then we're looking to get a couple of Avon players. Are those players confirmed, Rob?
Max Riley, for the most part, is. Okay. I sent him the link, but the Avon Eagles we're still working on. We have not heard from them yet.
Okay.
So we'll keep you updated.
We're going to get a few players from the state champion, two-time. Well, yeah, everyone knows it. Two-time defending state champion now, Avon Eagles. We're looking to get a few of their players on to join us tomorrow night as well to talk about their season, talk about the game, and their impact on the program as well.
Well, you talked about the impact of the program. How about did you see their odds of head coach Mike Elder leading the way for odds to coach the St. Ignatius Wildcats? You know, there's odds for different high school coaches out there. I think it was on Cleveland.com. He was 5-2. Along with some other, I think there's some other coaches. I don't know how, it's not, you don't talk to Coach Elder, and, I'm sure he said, I've never even heard of such a thing. But A little bit crazy that there's
Those
odds for
are
who's the next coach at Ignatius.
I'm sure those odds are for entertainment purposes only.
Exactly. I would think so.
Completely entertainment purposes only. We don't we don't delve into that. We'll mention this tomorrow too. We want to congratulate head coach of the Highland Hornets, Mike Gibbons. He was named the Medina County Gazette Fall Coach of the Year for 2020.
Nice.
So, I mean, think about there's 7 schools in the county, and there's multiple sports that are played throughout the fall season. And Coach Gibbons, with their undefeated season, run to the regional championship, record-setting year, and just really the way that you go about building a program, the way you going about your business, fewer do it better than Coach Gibbons. And that's if you have a chance to read the article in the Medina County Gazette, I highly recommend it. Coach Gibbons isn't one to talk about himself very much, so this will probably be the most you get out of him when talking about things. But it's a tremendous article from the Medina County Gazette, so make sure you check that out. One of the Suburban League American Conference champions, moving to the National Conference next year. So it's going to be a great move, and a tremendous honor for Coach Gibbons and the rest of the Highland Hornets coaching staff, community, and players.
For sure.
Okay, so that's going to do it for our show tonight. We want to thank our guests. We want to thank Brandon Basinger from Elyria Catholic, Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League President Ryan Kelber, and Hudson head coach Bob Rischitelli for joining us tonight. We want to thank you for watching us. Again, we'll be back tomorrow night, same time, same place, for Sports on Tap. For Rob Troutman, Josh Jeffy, Noah Jacobson, and Sean Duffy, my name is Ed Dick. This has been the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey Preview Show presented by Brunswick Auto Mart. And we'll see you on the other side.
Sports on Tap's Hockey Night in Northeast Ohio is brought to you by Brunswick Auto Mart. You can visit them online at www.brunswickautomart.com or go visit them at 3031 Center Road in Brunswick.
Raymond Felton State Farm is here to defend you from life's unexpected hits with coverage that fits your game plan. Get a free quote today at www.rayfelton.com or call 234-284-2996. Raymond Felton State Farm will help build the game plan that fits your needs.
Whether you're hosting a corporate event, wedding, conference, concert, or any other special gathering, our comprehensive range of services will exceed your expectations and elevate your event to new heights. RRT Productions. We shoot, we edit, you win. Visit our website at www.rrt-productions.com.
We've got the experience, the passion, and the beach to make your event a smash hit. Whether it's a romantic wedding, a lively sports venue, or a rocking high school dance, Troutland Entertainment has you covered. Contact them at 330-414-4261 or email them at troutlandent@gmail.com. That's troutlandent@gmail.com. Elevate your brand with Mako Custom Printing. Mako Custom Printing specializes in creating high-quality spiritware, corporate apparel, and promotional products that make your brand stand out. Whether you need custom printing, graphic design, or an online store for your school or business, we've got you covered. Make a statement with Mako Custom Printing. Visit us at mako.com to start your custom printing journey today. That's MEHCO.com.